Yo, team, what is happening on this beautiful Monday in September, the end of September? Now, we're looking at standards today, okay? We're going to be setting the standards for yourself, but also why setting the standards for other people is just as, if not more important than that. And we're going to get into all this today. So why your standards are going to dictate your health, your fitness, and your life, and those standards are going to rub off onto other people. So the power of standards is the first thing we're going to look at. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. So standards are the behavior that you accept from yourself and those people around you. They're not aspirational wishes, they're not goals, they're not things you're looking to achieve. They're baseline expectations that define how you show up for yourself or for other people every single day. So goals and standards are two different things. Goals are what you hope to achieve. Standards are what you refuse to compromise on, regardless of the circumstances of any given day. So an example of this in action is going to be consistently hitting 10,000 daily steps versus vaguely just saying, I'm just doing my best with my steps. Having something specific as a standard is what you hold yourself to. And it creates an entirely different outcome than just kind of having the mindset of, I'm just going to try and achieve this. I'm just going to try and achieve that. Setting your standard elevates your game to a brand new level. So low standards generally lead to low results. When you accept excuses, when you accept circumstances happening, you're reinforcing these kind of low standards. Every compromise that you make with yourself sends a message about what you're willing to tolerate as a human being moving forward. So examples of these would be skipping workouts and accepting that you might be too busy or you're too tired or you've got a little niggly injury, I'm not going to do it. You can find ways around it. That's going to, accepting that you're too busy or too tired or etc. is creating a standard of putting yourself last, making it much easier to skip it again tomorrow. Don't be the person that keeps putting it off because you're proving to yourself that you can't do the things that are going to hold you to a higher standard. Okay, poor sleep habits as well. So accepting late nights and poor nutrition as, oh, it's just going to be this one, so I'll start again on Monday. That's quickly going to form a pattern of compromised health. Again, you're setting yourself low standards, and that's going to lead to you feeling not to your optimal. Okay, it's got a low level of optimization moving forward, and a downward spiral. Each lowered expectation makes the next one easier to justify, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. It creates a cycle of declining standards. What you tolerate becomes your normal. Remember that. So we need to elevate these standards to the highest possible level so you can be a human being with the highest level of standards you can possibly have. How to raise your standards now. The transformation begins when you decide your behaviors or what behaviors are absolutely non-negotiable in your life. These aren't suggestions, they're commitments that you're making to yourself, that are standards that you're going to hold yourself to every single day. Could be daily movement, okay? Whether it's a full workout, whether it's a walk, whether it's stretching, yoga, Pilates, reformer Pilates, all this jazz, your body needs to move every single day, no exceptions. That is a standard you're going to set for yourself. Protein at each meal. Fuel your body properly by ensuring adequate protein intake supports your energy, your recovery needs, your metabolism. It's a non-negotiable. That again needs to be a standard that you hold yourself to, that you hit protein in every single meal in some way or another. Then a consistent sleep pattern, sleep routine. Protect your sleep window like you would an important meeting. It is super important, guys. You think about it, the more tired you are, the shitter decisions you make in life. If you've got a good sleep pattern, you're going to make better decisions in life. Fairly straightforward. Hold yourself to a higher standard of human being by getting more sleep so you can be at your best every single day. A critical step around this is I want you to write these standards down and commit to them daily. Written standards become concrete, they're real, they're there, rather than just fleeting thoughts. We need to get them written down, and you're going to really, really enforce yourself to stick to those standards. Now, holding yourself accountable to this as well. So true accountability starts with a bit of brutal honesty about your own behavioral patterns. Regular self-assessment standards and prevent standards from becoming empty promises. So we need to assess every now and again just so we don't let those standards slip. Okay, so a daily check-in with yourself. Am I living up to the standards I'm setting myself? Am I living up to my own standards? Ask this question to yourself every single evening. Honest answers reveal where you're at, and they reveal if you're thriving or if you're slipping. Then you want to have a look at pattern recognition. So am I letting myself off the hook too often? Be honest with yourself. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself with this. Notice when those excuses that you've got become frequent. We all have excuses, guys. I do, you do, everyone does. But the key to getting progress and success is that you don't use them too often. You don't fall on those excuses often. You just use them now and again, and that's it. You know, you notice it, you recognize it, and then you go, boom, that's not happening again. Let's go. My standard's up here. Okay. This awareness is the first step to course correction. When you course correct, you start to set yourself the higher standards. Discipline trumps motivation every single time. It really, really does. Motivation fluctuates, but discipline, supported by clear standards, is the way to go forward. Okay, it really, really is. Hold yourself to a real high level of standard and hold yourself accountable. This also will filter into other elements of your life. Setting standards for other people is just as important as the standards you set for yourself. The people closest to you, your kids, your partner, your friends, your family, whatever it is, you want to set these standards so it filters down to other people, and it sets standards for other people as well. The people around you are going to mirror the energy and match the standards that you accept. It's going to elevate everybody in the family. It's going to elevate your friends if you set yourself to a new level of standard. So your tolerance levels teach others how to treat you. Really important we get this nailed, okay? Respect. When you demand respect through your actions, others naturally respond to it with respect. If you've got people around you who are going to snigger and smirk at you eating a salad when they're having fish and chips or whatever, top of my head example there, then that's not what you need. You are going to try and elevate everyone else's standards because you're going to hold firm on your standards. And then it might make them think twice about what they're doing and where they want to go with their life, etc. Okay? Reliability is what I'm talking about next. So accepting lateness and broken commitments signals that your time is invaluable. If you're the type of person who's always like, oh, it's okay if someone's late, it doesn't matter, I'm not bothered about it, but they're showing up late all the time, that's them not respecting your time. We need to hold ourselves in higher esteem here, guys, and think, you know what, my time's worth more than that, and then just either call them out on it or just next time just don't plan something with them, you know? And then your energy as well. Tolerating constant negative energy drains your own motivation and your progress. If your friends or your family, someone in your family is negative all the time, call them out on it because it's just going to drag you down. And it's infectious. So, you know, positivity can be infectious. So when you're around positive people, you elevate yourself up. If you're around negative people all the time, it drags them down. It drags you down. And also that works the other way. If you're negative, you will drag the people around you down as well. Breed positivity. Be that person. When you raise the bar, people either raise with you or they drift away. Both is fine because both outcomes serve your growth. Yeah, you either elevate others or create space in your life for better relationships with other people. Fitness example in practice. So obviously we're trying to get this relatable to health and fitness. Here's how your standards transform your fitness journey from wishful thinking to consistent results. The non-negotiable commitment first and foremost. If you commit to 3 workouts a week, don't negotiate yourself, treat these like crucial appointments, you will make progress. If you share your standards, so if you tell your family or your friends about your commitment, it creates respect for your time, it builds a support system, and it makes your standards real. It makes them concrete. And lead from the front, lead by example. Others start to follow your lead when they see your consistency. Believe it or not, guys, if you're consistent with your health, your fitness, your nutrition, people really admire that. They might snigger and laugh at it at times. Some people might do, but that's because of their own insecurities. If you are really, really consistent with your exercise and your nutrition, people respect it. People look up to it, and you will be the person they look up to and think, you know what, fair play, they have got their shit in order, okay? When your workout schedule becomes as reliable as showing up to work, everyone around you learns to respect and support that commitment. It really does. You become the catalyst for positive change in your circle when you lead from the front. So, practical exercise today to get cracking with. It's time to get specific about your standards. Okay, this exercise transforms abstract concepts into concrete commitments that you can act upon right now. Personal standards. Okay, now I want you to do this. This is a practical exercise I want you to do. Write down 3 standards you will no longer compromise on. I want a fitness commitment, a nutritional choice, and a lifestyle habit. Be specific with this. It could be something like I exercise 4 times a week rather than I'm going to try and be more active. Be specific with your standard, okay? The standards for other people. Write 3 standards you expect from other people closest to you, okay? How do they communicate with you? How do they respect your time? How do they support you and support your goals? Remember this, you teach people how to treat you through what you accept. If you accept low standards from other people, that ain't good. You need to have higher standards from other people to help you live your fullest life as well. So share these standards with the group if you want. You know, you can put these in the group. Put it into the academy, put it into the WhatsApp group. Don't mind. You can share it or you can share it with me personally. But really, really, let's practice this. Let's get this practical exercise done. Write down 3 personal standards and write down 3 standards that you expect from other people, okay? And share these in the group. Speaking them aloud and sharing them with me or the group will really, really help you kind of reinforce these standards, okay? Now, last slide, standards shape your identity. Your standards, they aren't just rules, guys. They're the blueprint of the person you are becoming. We're all trying to become better people, better quality people, better levels of fitness, better levels of confidence, self-esteem, self-belief, more rounded individuals, whatever it is, okay? Every time you honor a standard, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through on commitments. When you do that, you get more confident because you're confident you're the person who can show up even when things get tough. You have got the standards to do it. So the identity shift. When your standards rise consistently, your self-image will transform. You will become someone who doesn't settle for less. The results will follow. Higher standards automatically generate better results because your actions align with elevated expectations. You elevate the game. And the ripple effect is your elevated standards inspire other people to examine their own and raise their own standards, creating positive change beyond yourself and towards the people around you. And that's just going to elevate you even more. So do not lower your standards to fit in with others. Raise them so others level up with you. Okay, very important training today, guys. The choice is yours, isn't it, really? You either remain comfortable with mediocrity or you commit to standards that are going to transform your health, fitness, and your life. Your future self is really counting on the decisions you make today regarding your own standards. So go back, go through the, let's just go back there briefly, go to the practical exercise, get specific about your standards. 3 personal standards, write down 3 standards you will no longer compromise on and 3 standards you expect other people to have closest to you, okay? Get this done today. Let me know if you've got any questions about this, guys. This is a super, super important training today. It really, really is. I hope you have understood. I hope you've got the most from it. Let's make sure you are elevating your standards to a new level to set the tone for your new self-belief, your new level of self-esteem and confidence, okay? Have a great one, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will speak to you all very soon.